Yo, what's going on, dudes? HK Titan here with a brand new video for you guys, and in today's video, I have something a little bit different planned for you guys because I've had a couple of people ask me if I could make like a real-life picture in Bloons TD6 or something that doesn't seem like it belongs in Bloons TD6. So I figured that's something that we could actually do. So when the BTD6 Map Editor first dropped, I tried to make like a picture of a Pikachu, and I think for the time, I think it looked pretty good. But I want to go ahead and make a little bit of an updated version that looks a little bit better. So dudes, that's exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to choose a background for my picture. So I was thinking about it, and I think like the sand background would work really well. That way we have like kind of a plain background to work with, kind of like a mural. So now that we have the background chosen, the next thing I want to do is I want to create an outline of Pikachu. So this is where things are going to get a little bit complicated because I need to like make a perfect outline of Pikachu. Now, I do have a picture over on my second monitor that I'm going to be using as reference. So hopefully I can make this outline look pretty good. All right, so I think that would do for a pretty basic outline of Pikachu. Now, right now, it doesn't look that great because the main reason why I wanted to do this is that way I had like a background to work with, and then on top of that, I can turn this into a shadow in the background. That way it brought a little bit more life to our picture of Pikachu. All right, so now that we have the basic background or like the shadow placed down, the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and grab myself an area. And what I want to do with this area is I actually want to create another outline of Pikachu with an area in the background. So what I'm going to be using for the area is I'm going to be using this area right here. But before we do that, we need to go ahead and change around the layers. I need to move the area layer up one. That way we have a little bit of a better reference for our Pikachu. All right, so we're going to run into our first big problem. And I've mentioned this before, but the first big problem is going to be these darn pylons. Like I'm trying to like make the outline of the hand, but right now the outline of the hand isn't going to want to like come together because like these pylons are too big. Like, this is one problem that I have with the BTD6 Map Editor with, like, making fine details. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do it with the area. So, we're going to have to, like, keep the hand right now as kind of like a circle. And then we're going to have to come back through with some props later on to go ahead and fix that. So, basically, the only thing I'm doing right now is I'm, like, trying to, make the outline of this area kind of, like, match up with the shadow that we have. And as long as we can make this outline of the area and match up with the shadow, it should end up looking pretty good. Like right now, you guys can already see like the basic outline of Pikachu, which is exactly what I was going for. All right, so there we go. I think we did a pretty good job at making the basic outline of a Pikachu. So what this is going to do is this is going to be like the background of our actual picture. So now that we have the background placed down, I was debating on whether or not I wanted to leave these stamps. But let's go ahead and get rid of the stamps layer because I don't think it's really going to contribute to our build at all. So yeah, dude, like that looks so good. Like I can already see like the basic background of Pikachu. Like if it was like that, who's this Pokemon thing? Then I would instantly know that this was going to be Pikachu. All right, so now that we have like the basic outline of Pikachu, now we need to start adding a little bit of color to our build. Now, this is where things are going to get a little bit complicated because we have a couple of different props to work with here. Like, I'm thinking that it would be best if I went with a bunch of leaves. The only problem is, like, if I start using a bunch of these leaves, like, I'm not going to be able to, like, place props underneath them because it's going to take a lot of these yellow leaves in order to, like, make the background. So before we end up doing that, let's go ahead and, like, make all of these separate details first. All right, so right now we are working with 2 eyeballs, and of course we have his nose right here. So this is the first hurdle that we're going to come across because right now the eyeballs, they look a little bit weird. I mean, you can't lie, like the eyeballs look a little bit wacky and wonky. So let me go ahead and see if we can like fix the eyes a little bit by like using a flower or something. So unfortunately, it's not looking good for the eyeball home front. Like, I knew the eyes were going to be, like, a big problem for me, but I didn't realize, like, how big of a problem they would end up being. So, honestly, guys, I have no idea what I'm going to do for the eyes. Like, if I, like, could throw in one of these, like, sticks, would the stick look decent as, like, a makeshift eyeball? because we need a little bit of different color with the eye. Otherwise, it's gonna look a little bit weird. I mean, it already looks a little bit weird, but it'll look even weirder, right? So let me go ahead and like place down a bunch of these sticks to like see if I can like actually make a decent like wooden eye. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look good, but it doesn't look terrible at the same time. I don't know, guys, like maybe I'm gonna have to use like a background shadow, and then like use the like shadow icon, like this shadow here, as like the eyeball, and then I'm gonna have to like use the flower that I just had as like the actual eye. Or maybe I can get away with like using this. I think that would look really good. Like it's not gonna look perfect, but I do think that would look decent. Like, yeah, if we use that shadow and then we use like this as the actual eyeball, oh yeah, that looks way better. All right, so let me go ahead and get that set up really quick. All right, you know what? Like, that doesn't look too bad. Like, obviously, it doesn't look perfect because right now we just have like this blob of a Pikachu. I mean, it almost kind of looks like a Ditto. All right, so now that we have like the eyes set up, the next thing I want to do is I want to get that mouth set up. Now, right now it looks a little bit wacky and wonky, but once we like start adding those yellow leaves, that's when things are really going to start to pop. Hopefully, once I start adding those yellow leaves, everything starts to come together. Because right now, guys, I'm even second guessing it. All right, dudes, like I know you guys don't have to say a word. I know right now it's looking a little bit wacky and wonky, but like I'm trying to make the mouth right now. So in the mouth, there's actually 3 different sections that we have to work with. We have the lighter colored tongue, we have the darker color like the back of the tongue, and then we also have like the back of the mouth. So right now I'm adding the lighter color of the tongue, and I think it's actually looking all right. Like, I don't want to say it looks good because the moment I say it looks good is the moment I'm going to go ahead and get flamed in the comments. Guys, I'm sorry if this doesn't end up looking good, but so far I think it's coming together quite nicely for my first attempt at like trying to make a real life picture of something with the BTD6 Map Editor. All right, and there we go. No, I don't think it looks bad. Like, obviously it doesn't look good right now because we still haven't added any of the yellows to it, but I think it's starting to come together quite nicely. All right, so now I need to go ahead and like add the darker top of the mouth. So to add the darker top of the mouth, I'm going to use these other leaves. And I think that these other leaves would actually look pretty good. So maybe I need to make them a little bit smaller, but it shouldn't end up being, or I think it should end up looking pretty good with like the multicolor like background. And if you guys are curious, like why I added these like red props, I added these red props because I thought these red props would like kind of look the best for like Pikachu's cheeks. Oh, right. So I think that actually looks pretty good. Like once we start like adding the yellows to the background, like our mouth is actually going to look pretty good, I think. Hopefully it looks pretty good. Like we can still see a couple of dark spots in the background, but like we can't be like too picky because the moment where we start like being too picky and we start spamming down a bunch of like props and stuff is the moment that we're going to hit the prop limit. And that's what we're kind of like trying to avoid right now. Also, I noticed one thing. I'm going to have to come back to my area here and I'm going to have to like redo this spot right here because it doesn't like meet up with my cheek the way that I want it to. There we go. How does that look? All right, so I think that looks pretty good. Again, once we like started adding all of the yellows and stuff, I think that's when my map's really going to start to come to life. Hopefully. So I think we have a majority of like the non-yellows down. Let me see. Yes, so I think we have a majority of the non-yellows down. So the yellows I'm going to be working with, I'm going to be working with this yellow, I'm going to be working with this yellow, and I'm going to be working with this dark yellow. So the reason why I want to work with like the 3 different yellows is I want to add a little bit of shade. So we'll use like this like light, the like in between yellow and orange in order to like add the shade to our Pikachu. And then we'll add like this yellow to add like the hard lines along like the arms and the fingers. And hopefully this dark yellow looks pretty good. And then of course we'll use this light yellow as like the yellow for our Pikachu. All right, so right now the only thing I'm doing is I'm doing the outline. Now, I'm kind of debating whether I should do the outline with the dark orange first. And then after I do the outline with the dark orange, then I'll come through and I'll add the yellow. because one thing I'm a little bit worried about is like once I start adding all of this yellow, I don't think I'm going to be able to do like the outline with the dark orange. So yeah, let me go ahead, let me get rid of all of these yellow leaves really quick, and I'm going to make it the outline of Pikachu with this really dark orange first. So I'm going through and I'm placing all of these leaves as like an outline effect. And one thing like just keeps like beating me in the head, and I'm thinking that I might hit the prop limit, guys. Like if I hit the prop limit, all of this work that I'm doing right now is going to be for nothing. And I'm going to have to like go through and I'm going to have to delete all of this. But right now it's like looking pretty good. Like it looks good in theory. But again, if I hit that prop limit, all of this is going to be for nothing, guys. Hopefully I don't hit the prop limit, and then I can just like go through, place down a bunch of the leaves and stuff, and then we can go ahead and like go about our day and finish making our Pikachu. But guys, I really don't know if we're gonna be able to do it with the prop limit, or at least do it like this, because right now we have a lot of props on the screen, guys, just with like these leaves. And also we have all of these red things as well. Man, I think I think this idea of like making an outline might be a little bit too much detail for the map editor. All right, dudes, would you have a look at that? Now we can actually finally see Pikachu. Okay, so this is actually looking pretty good. Let me go ahead and turn the areas back on. So I went ahead and made some small changes because I thought the like background, it like looked good, but I felt like the arms and legs were like, or the arms like tails, they were a little bit weird. So I went ahead and like freestyled it a bit, and I think this looks a little bit better. But again, the only problem that we're going to be facing right now is I do not know how close we are to the prop limit. So we're gonna need to like work backwards with this. So like a couple of the main features that we need to add, we need to add a couple of like shadow aspects, because those shadow aspects are really gonna make our build come to life a little bit more. So that's what I want to do right now. Let's go ahead and like make a couple of shadows with our Pikachu. All right, so I added some shade by using the like color in between like the dark orange and the yellow, and I think this is coming together quite nicely. Let me go ahead and get rid of this background. Yeah, like even if we use like the sand background, I feel like it would look pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more of this like in between orange background down here. Let me go ahead and make these a little bit bigger, because remember guys, like we have to be getting close to that prop limit. So we need to like kind of like make up for the fact that we've used a lot of props already. And we're going to use like a bunch of we're going to start making the leaves a little bit bigger. But so far, I think this is coming together quite nicely, guys. Like, I don't know, like, let me know in the comments below, like, what do you guys think of my Pikachu so far? Like, even if we do hit the prop limit, I would be pretty satisfied with the way that it looks right now. And then we'd, like, use the yellow background, and then I think I would have to, like, use some areas and, like, turn the background into, like, a darker background. And that way our Pikachu would still have that yellow pattern without using the leaves. But this isn't the end. Let me go ahead and start grabbing some of these yellow trees. Oh man, like look at that, dude, it looks so good. All right, so the first thing I want to do, let me take care of some of the bigger spots first. Now, this is where it's going to become really tricky, because, like I was saying, we have to be getting close to that prop limit. So let me go ahead and like add a bunch of like bigger leaves. And then after we add all of the big leaves, then we can start adding a little bit more, or then we can start like making the leaves a little bit smaller from that point on. Man, I just wish like the prop limit was a little bit higher. That way I didn't have to make these leaves so big. Like we just have to like work with what we have, and hopefully it ends up turning out all right. Man, it's so nice like watching my Pikachu come to life more and more with more of these leaves that I'm placing. Like right now, I think it's starting to really come to life, guys. Like my picture that I had in my head is actually like starting to like really pop. Now, the first thing that I want to do, I want to go ahead and like get these big leaves placed first. Then after I get these big leaves placed first, then we can start like adding some smaller yellow leaves. Because like I was saying, or like I've been saying like a lot, is that we have to be getting close to that prop limit. So I want to go ahead and like get a bunch of these big leaves placed down, and then we can start adding a little bit more detail with some smaller yellow leaves. All right, dude. So the more and more leaves that I add, like it's slowly starting to come together now. Let me see. So right now what I'm debating on is whether or not I want to keep this like dark background. Like, I think I'm gonna have to keep the dark background for like the ears, and I'll just have to like go through and I'll have to like edit the area a bit more, because right now like the outline doesn't match up with that dark brown background that I have. So I'll have to like edit the background a little bit to make it like line up with this background here. And then after we add all of these yellow leaves, like it'll be a little bit easier to like kind of like hide our mistakes. But right now, like I said, my main concern is just getting all of these yellow leaves placed down for like our actual yellow Pikachu. I mean, what do you guys think, dudes? Like right now, I think it's looking pretty good, right? Like, I feel like all of the like detail that we added with those yellow leaves, and of course the lighter or the like in between orange and yellow leaves here to add a little bit of shaded effect, I think it ended up working out pretty good, right? Or at least that's what I think. But then again, I could be like a little bit like biased towards my own creation, especially since I spent so much time on this like I guess map or picture. Like I don't even want to call this a map because it's not really a map. It's just more of like an artistic picture that I made using the map editor. Like, I don't know, dudes. Like, would you guys like could still consider this a map? Like, I haven't even like actually placed down the pathway yet. And then like speaking of the pathway, I have no idea like what I'm actually gonna do for the actual pathway itself. Like, I don't know, like maybe I'll just have it like do like a pattern around Pikachu, and I'll have like 2 different pathways. I think it's like the only thing I can actually do, right? All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the way that this looks. Let me go ahead and like edit this area really quick. So what I need to do is I need to like line this area up with like the actual pathway that or the actual like outline that I made. Then as long as I like line this up pretty good, you guys shouldn't be able to like see any of the like dark pattern on the outside. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Like, you can still see a little bit of wonkiness over here, but that should be covered up once we like make the pathway. Next, let me go ahead and like alter this one a little bit. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and like alter this one as well. Dude, it's like slowly starting to come together. Dude, I really like the way that this is turning out, guys. Like, I think this is actually looking pretty good. I just need to get rid of all of this like brown on the outside, because originally I was going to do shadow, but I think it'll look better without all of the shadow. And we have like this like brown in the background, which really make the eyes come to life a bit more. All right, and then it'll like fill in all of the blank areas as well. Like, I was like kind of debating whether or not I wanted to like take out the area and then like just add like a couple of areas up here instead. But I kind of like the way that it looks. Like, it doesn't look bad. There we go. So we still have a little bit overhanging over here, but that's perfectly all right. Like, a couple of imperfection isn't gonna like ruin our build. Like I was saying, like the main thing I'm concerned about is just like taking away from like a majority of the shade from the outline. That way it makes the ears pop a bit more. Oh yeah, dude, that looks so good. Let me see. So the eyes aren't perfect, but I think for like what we have to work with, I think that looks pretty good. Now let me go ahead and like mess with the background a bit. Area 2, we want to keep it like this, because if we like turn it over the way, okay, so the area 2 is over here. My bad. Let me see. So let me go ahead and like alter the background a little bit. See like which one makes our Pikachu pop a bit better. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the way that this looks. Or better yet, what if I like add this blue background behind our Pikachu? That way there's a little bit more of a clear background. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And let me go ahead and change the layer. We'll change it over here like this. Yeah, dude. That looks so cool. What else can we add? Let me see. Like, I want to add a couple of like balloons in the background. Like maybe I can add like Pikachu or like a balloon up here. But the only problem is like since we're using like the blue background, the only balloon that we can really make is the blue balloon. Let me see. Do we have anything else that we could like use for like a background? Well, actually, you know what? Where's this area at? Our area is right here. Maybe we could add like a rock balloon, because I saw a really good example of a rock balloon in somebody's build in the map editor that I thought looked pretty cool. So Let me actually try that. Let me try making a rock balloon in the background, because like right now the background looks cool, but it really doesn't look as good as it could. There's not a lot of detail in the background, which like really makes Pikachu pop, but I would like to have a little bit more detail. All right, so there we go. I think that looks pretty good for a balloon in the background, right? Like we got the notch here. Now the next thing we want to do in order to turn this into a rock balloon, the example that I saw in the BTD6 Map Editor, if I can find it, I'll go ahead and show you guys. But what they did is they added this prop right here, and I thought it looked so cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it myself. The only problem is like finding the right rocks to like kind of like piece together. So like make a couple of like these big rocks will like kind of like make it like follow the outline of the balloon, like this. And then let me go ahead and like copy this. We'll go ahead and add like a couple of them around here. And then this is kind of like playing like a jigsaw puzzle, like finding like the perfect spot for the rocks to make the like rock balloon really come to life. And like I was saying, if I can find the picture of the rock balloon from the dude that like gave me the inspiration for this, I'll go ahead and show you guys a picture of it, because again, it looks so cool. Like it definitely looks way better than the rock balloon that I'm creating, or at least I think it does. And the reason why I chose like to try and make a rock balloon is because I thought the rock balloon would be the easiest for us to create. Now, originally, I thought it would be really cool to like add the BTD6 logo, but I thought the BTD6 logo would be a little, or have too many details for like it to like actually allow us to actually do it. Because again, guys, like we have to be so close to that prop limit, dudes, because we have so many props placed down, and we also have like a bunch of like shades and then the background. So I actually have no idea like how close we actually are to the prop limit. Oh, there it is. We just hit the prop limit. No, dudes. Oh, man. We were so close to finishing this rock balloon. That's so not cool, bros. Let me see. So let me go ahead and, like, alter this a little bit. Oh, man. We were so close, bro. We were so close. Is there anything that we could do to, like, reduce the prop limit that we have a little bit? Let me go ahead and remove this. Let me go ahead and remove this, because we are so close to finishing our rock balloon. Man, I wanted to add so much more detail, but unfortunately it's not gonna let us do it. Let me see. So if I remove some of these yellow plants, and then because we already hit the prop limit, we're gonna have to like save and then come back into it. And the thing is that we haven't even like placed down the pathway yet. Man, that's so upsetting, but what can we do, right, dudes? We just have to like put up with it, because I mean, at least we got Pikachu done. Like Pikachu was like the big thing that I wanted to get done. So at least we were able to do that. Oh man, like now we're having the problem with the rocks where I can't like move them. All right, so let me see. Oh, dude, this is so rough. Because now I'm getting even more problems with like these flowers too. Yeah, so it's saying max items reach, even though I deleted a bunch of these flowers. Let me go ahead and like back out and come back in. Oh, we hit the prop limit again. No. Let me see. So is that like a trick that we can do? Like, can we save and exit and then come back in to place more props? If we can, that would be so... No, the max items reached. Oh, no, dudes. All right, so unfortunately, we can't place any more props, and we still have to, like, actually place down the pathway. So for the pathway, let's go ahead and, like, place it up here. And then we'll have, like, the balloons come down over here along our Pikachu. I'm not gonna make like the pathway like super in depth. I'm just gonna like make it like follow around this rock balloon here, like this. And then after we do this, let me see. So let me go ahead and bring this up here a little bit. And then we'll have it like follow around the rock balloon. And then we'll have like this pathway exit over here like this. And I think that's like the best that we can do, right? So we'll have like one path of following this rock. And then we'll make like another path over here. And we'll have this path to follow the Pikachu. We'll have like this path to follow the outline of the Pikachu. I think this is like the only thing that we can like actually do. Now, the problem with this is like, I'm probably unintentionally making like an expert map, because like you're not gonna be able to shoot through all of these leaves, so it's gonna be a pretty difficult map on top of it looking pretty good. or on top of it looking pretty cool, which I actually don't have a problem with, right? Another big issue that people are gonna have with this map is that the only towers that you're gonna be able to place are water towers. So it's gonna be really interesting to see like if anybody's actually gonna be able to beat this map. All right, there we go. So we made it so there was 2 different pathways. I didn't want to make it like insanely hard, so we have one pathway over here, we have another pathway over here. But that being said, I do not think this map is going to be beatable on Chimps. Now, unfortunately, again, I wasn't able to like finish up this rock balloon because we hit our prop limit, but I don't think it looks bad. Like, I think the map actually turned out pretty good. Now, the last thing we want to do, let's go ahead and add a little bit of a background effect. So what kind of background effect can we like add? Can we like add this background effect? Honestly, guys, I'm not seeing any difference with like this background effect. This one adds a little bit of an effect to bring a little bit more life to our map, because right now, because we invested so many of our props into Pikachu itself, we really can't add too much detail to this map. All right, and then the last thing we want to do, let's go ahead and choose some music. Now, for the music, what would sound pretty good? You know what? Let's do the Game Boy. I feel like Game Boy would suit this just fine because, I mean, like, imagine, like, playing back on the Game Boy Color, like, playing Pokemon and stuff. I feel like this is going to be the best music for it. All right, so let's go ahead and save and exit our map. And then the last thing we're going to have to do, let's go ahead and name our map Pikachu. That's it. Like, oh, dude, look at the thumbnail. The thumbnail looks so good. Man, I am so happy with the way that this turned out. Again, wait, no paths or invalid paths. Check at least one path exists. All paths have to start and end. Okay, so we have a little bit of an issue with our pathway. Hopefully it's not because of the prop limit. So path verified and path verified. What? Like, how do we not have a pathway? Okay, so do I have to delete some of the props, like make this map actually work? So maybe it wasn't counting the pathways because we were at our prop limit when I placed down the pathways. That's like the only thing I can think of, right? All right, so I've tried to like go in and out, and unfortunately, it's just like, it just doesn't want like my pathway to work, or my pathways to work. Let me go ahead and like edit the pathways really quick to see if I edit my pathways, if it'll end up working. We're having so many issues. Like, what's going on here, dudes? Like, we have a start over here. Let me go ahead and like delete these pathways to see like if there's an issue with the actual pathways themselves. Like, maybe they were like bugged out because we were at the prop limit. If I can get at least like one pathway to work, I'll be happy. If one pathway works, then I will be extremely happy, and then I won't have to like worry about like not being able to publish my map. All right, there we go. And let me see. Let me go ahead and press next, save and exit. And what is going on with my pathways, bro? All right, so I went ahead and like changed around the pathway, but it's still not allowing me to like actually like publish my map. Let me go ahead and delete some more props to see if like if I delete some more props, if it'll like if there's like an error with how many props I have. Luckily, I have all of these flowers, like, or luckily I have a bunch of like flowers placed down, so I can delete a bunch and not worry about like it affecting my build too much. There we go. Finally, we can publish our map. So I ended up deleting like something like, I want to say like 10 or 15 flowers. And that allowed me to like place down my pathway to where it's not going to be blocked anymore. So after I get my pathway like placed down, then I'll go ahead and like add a bunch more props, and hopefully it doesn't end up like glitching out my map again. But it's actually kind of a good thing that happened, because I thought this would look pretty good as like a little bit of added detail if we use like this like water effect in like, or like on the outside of our Pikachu. I thought it would look so cool. So little did you guys know, like that actually helped me out quite a bit for like adding detail to my map. All right, so look, by adding this pathway, it actually adds a little bit of a shadow behind our Pikachu. Like, it's a lighter shadow, but I still think it looks pretty cool. Next, let's go ahead and add another pathway up here for our rock balloon, because I mean, the rock balloon pathway I thought was a pretty cool idea as well. Plus, I think this will add a little bit more detail to our rock. There we go. I think that looks pretty cool. Like, this down here looks a little bit wacky and wonky, but it just adds a little bit of something extra to our map that I feel like our map was missing. Well, what if we like add, oh, dude, that looks kind of cool too. Like, I mean, it adds a little bit more detail to our rock. Like, it doesn't look perfect, but I think it does add a little bit of something to our rock balloon. But I think the blue is gonna look the best. To be honest, I think that blue actually brings a little bit of something to our rock, but up here looks a little bit wonky. So let me go ahead and like mess with that just a little bit. Let me go ahead and like bring this in just a touch, and there we go. I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good, guys. I don't know, dudes. Let me know what you guys think of this Pikachu map in the comments below. And now that we have the issues solved with the pathway, now is officially time to go ahead and play and then publish our map. So obviously I'm going to be playing this on easy standard because I definitely do not think this map is beatable on Chimps. But that being said, why don't you guys go ahead and give it a try to see if you guys can actually beat this on Chimps. Now, I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to beat it on Chimps, but maybe there's like someone insane out there that can actually come up with a Chimp strategy that would actually work on this map. But I don't know, dudes, like let me know in the comments below, like what do you guys think of this Pikachu map? And do you guys have any suggestions to make this map look a little bit better or cut down on some of the props that I used? Because like I was saying, I did run into the issue of there being too many props. So if you guys have a suggestion to how I can lower down the props a little bit more, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also, while we're beating our map, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on the series. You guys are absolutely crushing it. And also, if you guys have a suggestion for a map that you guys would like to see me create, please feel free to let me know in the comments as well. And also, I'm going to do a little bit of a shameless plug here. If you guys are enjoying this video, please feel free to hit that like button. Also, if you guys are new around here and want to see me do some more of these maps and also upload more BTD6 content, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and also turn on notifications as well. That way you guys don't miss any of the new uploads. Right, pretty much exactly what I was thinking. This map is going to be relatively easy. I am going to have to grab something for lead balloons, though. Because we are only allowed to place down water towers on this map, I think the only thing I'm going to be able to do is, like grab myself like a monkey buccaneer. I think a monkey buccaneer would work out pretty well because we could go for like monkey pirates. And then we could like suck up a Moab balloon. Yeah, I think monkey pirates is going to be like the best option for us. Oh my goodness, dude. That was such a mistake. Okay, so this is not something that we should have done. Okay, so advanced intel on the monkey sub, not worth it. Not worth it because it actually causes a bunch of lag because it's trying to like figure out like where the darts can shoot. Oh, buddy, that's a little bit of a mistake. Let me go ahead and do it again. All right, so let me go ahead and grab myself a monkey buccaneer. And then with this monkey buccaneer, again, let's go ahead and grab a long range. So we'll grab crow's nest as well. There we go. Then after we grab a crow's nest, or then we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves another monkey buccaneer. We're going to grab crow's nest on that one as well. That way our monkey subs as well as our monkey buccaneers can see camo balloons. Now, of course, the next thing we're going to have to deal with is we're going to have to deal with the lead balloons. So let's go ahead and buy hot shots on both of our monkey buccaneers as well. And there we go. I think this strategy is going to end up working out quite nicely. Like I was saying, I think monkey pirates is going to be our best bet for beating this game mode, because unfortunately I really don't want to like click on these monkey subs too much because I don't want to end up like crashing my game, because if I end up crashing my game, then I'm going to have to maybe restart from round 1, and I don't want to do that. So we're gonna need $4,000 in order to buy the monkey pirates, and then after we buy the monkey pirates, then we'll be good for round 40. All right, so round 37, here's our monkey pirates. So now this is pretty much a GG's, because the only thing we need to do with the Moab balloon is just like activate our monkey pirates ability, and we won't have any balloons slip through. But guys, I am like so happy with the way that this Pikachu turned out. Like, I was so worried the entire time. Like every prop I placed, I was like, oh no, we're getting so close to the prop limit. We are about to hit the prop limit. Do I want to place down another like leaves, or do I want to go ahead and like restart from square zero? I am so glad I didn't end up restarting, because if I ended up restarting, I feel like the Pikachu wouldn't have turned out as good as it did with what I did with this one. So if you guys would like to play this map for yourself and check out the Pikachu that I made with the BTD6 Map Editor, here is the code right here. But anyways, dudes, again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like button, and I'll see you dudes in the next one.